Inside Disc Golf.
Hello and welcome to Inside Disc Golf Podcast, episode 25. Today we have a very special guest, fresh off his first European Pro Tour win at the Belgian Open. He's also the reigning Finnish Junior National Champion and the Finnish Doubles National Champion as well, right?
Yeah.
And he also won on the Prodigy Pro Tour Tampere final stop last season. So welcome, Teemu Talikainen from Helsinki.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here. It's actually my first podcast ever.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
great.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Very
What an honor to have you. And we couldn't have gotten you at a better moment than coming off with actually two fresh wins. Because last episode we were talking about Andy's success at the weekly here in Sibbe. So let's talk about what you did yesterday night. You want to mention what happened in Keinokallio?
Yeah, I was playing weekly in Keinokallio and I happened to play 12 under, which is the course record there.
And if you have ever played Keinokallio, it's a course just outside Helsinki in Kerava. And it's one of the more difficult courses I have ever played, one of the more difficult in Finland, I would say. So that's cool, coming off a fresh title in Belgium and going straight home and take a course record in Keinokallio. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's an amazing round. We wouldn't obviously mention it if it was just a normal weekly's win, but
No.
par at Keinokallio is over 1,000 rated. So his round yesterday came in at 11-14 or something like that on metrics. That's possibly the hottest round of your career. Or?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that's something special. That's why we mention it. And of course, it's one of our favorite courses, one of the best in South Finland for sure. But that is incredibly hot. The previous record was 9 down, Joona Heinonen, and of course we know him. He was a guest on the podcast and over there in the States shredding it up, but that's his local course. And so to beat that by 3 strokes is a pretty impressive performance, to say the least. But, so yeah, I think it's safe to say that Teemu Talikainen is on fire right now.
Is that your feeling yourself? How do you feel about your game at the moment?
I'm feeling good, but it's nothing like too surprising for me. Like my throwing is good. I'm throwing really good right now, but it's not like a surprise. My putting is feeling solid, not too good, but it's not bad either.
It's great to hear. But should we maybe do a short introduction in case there are any of our listeners or viewers who don't know who you are? We have already mentioned your name, Teemu Talikainen.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 18 currently.
You're 18. And you turned 18 this year or?
Actually last year.
Last year, okay.
Yeah.
So I think we have gotten out with some false information during our live. But you're still a teenager, very young and already a superstar, I would say. But still lots of things to we're going to see a lot of things in the future as well.
Yeah.
And you are from Helsinki, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and you're still in school.
Basically, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
I'm not like doing anything right now because I'm graduating in like 2 weeks. So I haven't had anything after like big exams.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got into the game of disc golf. You've been a PDGA member since 2020, so not that long of a journey. Were you playing before that, or just tell us a little bit about how you found out about disc golf?
Well, I've known disc golf for like 10 years. I don't really remember when I first got introduced to it, but it was like a familiar sport to me. I had like played once or twice summer with my dad and things like that, but I hadn't really any discs or anything like that. So I think it was like probably like 5 years ago. We got the idea with my football teammates to go and get around in I think 4 disc golf park. Yeah. And after that, it still wasn't like every day or every week or even every year. But the first time I actually like fully got hooked to it was probably 2019, I think. 2019 in the summer, I first bought 2 discs. I think they were Innova's Leopard and then Star Mystere, which I took to my summer cottage and actually played there for a week. And that's what got me hooked to the sport.
So you were playing then without the putters?
Yeah.
And it worked?
Yeah, it worked.
You got hooked anyway?
Yeah.
Great start. And when did you have a feeling for disc golf, or like that early that you could become good, or compared to other people that also started around the same time?
To be honest, it didn't take that long. First, I was throwing I remember measuring some of my throws with U-disc that were 75 meters. That was my absolute max distance with the distance driver then. But I think after 3 months, I had the feeling that I could go pro in this sport.
Natural.
That's impressive.
Absolute natural. Yeah,
I can tell you that I didn't feel like that after 3 months, and I think few people have ever felt like that. So that's cool to hear.
Yeah. So you were playing football. Did you stop playing football competitively at that point and start shifting to disc golf, or did you still play other sports?
I did play football with disc golf for around a year. I still played one season. After that, I stopped football.
Yeah, just to commit fully to the disc golf. Nice. And so, are there any players that you looked up to, or that you kind of did you watch disc golf media and stuff like that, or how did you kind of get into the professional level of the game?
I did watch a lot of Jomes, so of course Macbeth was always there, every round he was there. So at first it was probably mostly him.
Yeah. And do you feel like you modeled any of your form off of any other players, or is something you just kind of feel and find your own way?
I don't think so. I've tried a lot of styles, but it's always just been that I like to throw, and I've worked on my form, but not modeling any players.
Right. You just kind of go for the feel and just work through it that way.
So Macbeth was your first international role model at least. Did you have any local players or Finnish players that you were following or maybe played together with?
No, I don't really think so.
Okay.
I definitely knew the Finnish players, but wasn't really following any of them too keenly.
No.
Yeah.
But you have played with quite a few of them already.
Yeah.
And you have beaten most of them already. So yes, it just amazes me how fast you have climbed up to such a high level already. And I think that's quite unique in the world almost, that someone finds such a high level that fast. And what parts of your game did you feel that you found fastest? Was it your amazing putting that we see now, for example, or was it your shot shaping, or?
I think it was the backhand with at least the distance. I'm thinking back to it now. I think 2020 summer I already was throwing 130 meters, which is pretty good.
Really good. Yeah.
Rarely you need anything more than that.
Yeah.
With control, for sure. Yeah, so you progressed pretty quickly with the distance, and then how about the touch and the accuracy? Is that something you worked on a lot, or did that come pretty natural as well?
At first, I think I only played a lot of rounds. 2020 summer I was playing so many rounds. I don't even know how many, but
you just play as much as you could.
Yeah.
All that youthful energy, and just fell in love with the game and couldn't get enough. I think that's a pretty familiar type of a narrative.
Do you keep score on all your rounds, or do you just play for fun in that way?
I would say that on 60% of the rounds I'm keeping score, but it depends on the mood and depends on what I'm trying to work on and everything like that.
Nice. Yeah, so you just signed with Prodigy in the off season, and before that you weren't sponsored by a big manufacturer, right?
No, I wasn't sponsored by basically anyone.
Okay, so you kind of just pretty fresh on the scene.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be sponsored by Prodigy and to be moving into that direction where you're becoming a top level professional?
Yeah, it's different. It's feeling different. I definitely like it, but it gives me different level of pressure even.
Sure.
To play good, even though I know that everybody is not waiting for me to play as I want to play. Everybody's not waiting for me to win every event or anything like that. But almost like sometimes it almost like feels like that. Like if I'm playing like in Copenhagen, I was playing really bad. So that gives me a feeling that I can do this. Like it would be like that without even a sponsor, but with the sponsor, it like basically how could I don't even know how to say this, but
You felt like you needed to like prove that you were worthy of the sponsorship that you have got. Yeah,
and not even like Prodigy or anything like that, but probably more to the fans.
The fans.
The fans, okay.
Yeah, because I don't want people to be like, oh, he's just 1 year wonder or anything like that.
Right. So you're kind of just. It's so early in your career, but you're already focused on the legacy and the accomplishments and how it's perceived by the fans. That's a great way to get motivation, though. I mean, to find
because I was pretty bummed that the season stopped after Tampere, because that was like the first win, and after that I had the momentum, but didn't have any tournaments to play.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that, because that was definitely your breakout win at the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour final stop last year in Tampere. And also one of the most fantastic courses I have ever played, and it's really shaped for professional players. And you were, at least to us, it looked like you were in complete control all the way through. Is that your feeling as well?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that you can ever go to the final round and exactly know what's gonna happen. Like, you can be really confident, you can like trust on yourself, but you can never really be so sure about it. And I think I had 2-stroke lead before the final round, and I was just telling myself that I can do the same thing as I did in Kuopio, because then I also had 2-stroke lead and completely blew it out. So,
but I said so many times during our live broadcast of that, like, when is he gonna start to show any kind of nerves? You were in the lead, and then I believe you like extended that lead a little bit already at the beginning, and I was sure that we were gonna see some kind of drop, but it never happened. And then even afterwards in the interview, you mentioned that you knew that you were gonna win with a few holes left to play. That was just mind-blowing to me, that I could never imagine a young player being in the lead for the first time in that kind of big event and just having complete control over the situation.
Yeah, I do think that I did miss a pretty short putt on the third hole. I had already played like par the first 2 holes, so I had gained a stroke, and on the third hole I think I had like 7-meter putt and missed that, and after that I thought to myself that I can't do this anymore, like I can't miss those putts and things like that. But yeah, I had like 6 holes to play and I had a 6-stroke lead, and I was throwing so well that I knew that I can't basically lose it.
Must be a great feeling, yeah. Be in that position, and I guess was it a couple weeks before in Kuopio? That was Was that the first time you made the lead card for a big open event like that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I remember that, and you did it first round. You shot the hot round the first day, right? And you came out and you backed it up on the second day. We were thinking we were with Gareth in the booth.
Yeah, I wasn't here
for that show, but I was thinking, okay, we thought maybe, with the cameras and everything and all the pressure of the big situation that maybe there'd be some nerves and stuff, but you came out that second day and performed just as well or even better. Yeah. And so then we were like, okay, we're dealing with a real phenomenon here. Like, this guy can handle the pressure, and that's pretty unique and special. You shot 10.56 rated round the first round, and then 10.42 backed it up. Oh no, sorry,
that's
this is in Tampere, but Kuopio you did really well, and like you said, you weren't able to kind of finish the job there final day, but what did you learn from that experience, being that close to that first big open win?
It was easier to play in Tampere after that, because I knew that people were waiting for me to play good, but I don't really think the third round had anything to do with the pressure. Of course, after I started it so bad, it was so really hard to get going.
Yeah.
But I wasn't so nervous before the final round of Kuopio. I don't think. It
was just a matter of execution, just kind of a little bit off.
And
day,
after I started playing so bad, it all just
It's hard to get it back together. Yeah, like when it's
didn't
not
like
going your way.
start the round at all. Yeah, and after that it got like really pressuring for me. Yeah, after I was like, because I think that on the 5th hole I took a birdie and got back to the lead, and I was like thinking to myself that, oh yeah, this is it and I'm gonna win this event and stuff like that. But then on the 6th hole I 3-putted for the bogey, and yeah, after that it was just off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was great that we saw you bounce right back the next event there and then take down a commanding victory, and ended up winning by 3 strokes. Shot 10-27 the final round, but you were able to kind of walk it in near the end. You didn't have to really press at all at that point. You had it in the bag, so it looks a little bit closer on paper than it actually was, I think, in the reality. But that seems to be one of your strengths, that once you get into that position and when you have the momentum that you just kind of keep going, like at this weekend in Belgium, you really just kind of never stopped. You know, you just kind of, and it seemed like your game plan is really focused on what you are doing. You're not too concerned about what's happening outside of yourself, and I think that's a really good mental game approach to it, right? You're kind of just trying to do the best that you can, and then everything else will sort of fall into place. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true. I was definitely thinking that, but I think if I'm like tired with like 9 holes to play, I have to start thinking about what everyone else is doing.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, but on the second round, I think actually the interviewer after the second round was questioning if I didn't look at the scores, and I actually answered to him that it's not necessary for me to look the scores at round 2.
Yeah.
Like there's no point. I don't know what's the point of that. Maybe if there's like a situation where I'm trailing by 7 and I'm looking forward to what I have to do on the last 3 holes to give me the best chances, maybe then. But if the situation is not like that, I don't feel the need to.
Right, it's not really that relevant when there's still so much still to play. It's, all those thoughts really can just be a distraction, perhaps, that you're kind of just playing some head games. Then you're not able to really focus on the shot coming up, and so.
And how much do you get affected by what the other players on the card are doing? Because we saw in Belgium, for example, some crazy highlights from some player. I'm thinking Rasmus Saukoriipi on hole 6, for example, but also some big misses. Also, Rasmus Saukoriipi got like early a few misses. Do you feel that it affects your game at all? What the other players are doing?
I don't feel like it affects, but it would be dumb to say that it doesn't, because it always does. But if somebody's playing like really hot, it can definitely affect me. But in Belgium, I don't. Well, if somebody's like playing really bad, it can affect me on the because I get the feeling that I don't have to play that good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because that can like slow the rhythm and stuff like that. But besides from that, I don't think that it affects me.
But do you also? Does it matter who is behind you? Like if there is some big name, for example, in Tampere, you had really big names like Joona Heinonen and other I think Joona was on the lead card, right?
Yeah.
Someone who you, of course, know can shoot really hot. Do you think about that beforehand? Like now I need to go out really strong because I think that those other players are gonna score already from hole 1, or does it affect your game plan in that way?
Doesn't affect game plan, but it's definitely different to play against different players. Like there's some players that you want to be trailing by, want to be trailing you, or there's some players that you're like a bit scared about. But yeah, there's different type of players, and some players you just know that are going to play good on the final round.
I can imagine that some players are now feeling the same about you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, they should be scared to have Teemu Talikainen on the same card. But yeah, it really sounds like you have the perfect mindset for this level of the game, and future is looking bright. Seems like.
For sure.
Do you agree on that, Andy?
100%. Yeah. I mean, I think we're just getting started really with your career. You're so young and still, seeing some potential for yourself to improve. Like you say, you shoot the 12 down and you say, oh yeah, well there was a few strokes left on the course there still, and you could come with a big win, and you could tell that you were at moments not fully satisfied with your own performance. So you're clearly, aiming very high, and yeah, the skills are obviously there. The mental game is really solid. What would you say are your main goals at this point in your career? Is there anything you're focused on achieving, or you're just kind of going with the flow?
Yeah, I definitely have goals, but I'm not too focused on them. Like only the like close competitions or nearing competitions. I want to just win as many events as I can here in Europe this year, so I'm able to go to the USA next year. Yeah,
sounds good. So you're not picking any particular event that you're really aiming for. You're just trying to focus on every time you play to do the best that you can, and try to
basically.
And you should get as many wins as you're meant to. That way.
I also really want to win the nationals this year. Yeah,
the Open Nationals.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing. Yeah, big step to go from junior national champ straight to the Open national champ. So that's pretty exciting. That's going to be in Mukula.
Yeah,
And
Lahti.
And you can follow that on Disc Golf Stream. They'll have that in Finnish language. So yeah, looking forward to that.
It's going to be exciting, and if you are able to win Finnish champion, you are like in quite a good group of champions. They're like everyone who has ever won the Finnish champions. They are really famous names. They go on and win big things also after that. So it feels like it's important for all the Finnish players to have that trophy in their at home to say that I won it.
Yeah.
And how about the European Championships then? Is that as important to you?
I wouldn't say as important, but it's a big competition, so of course I want to win it and play good there. But I think that Finnish Nationals is it's more important.
Okay.
I don't even know why.
He just feels it. Yeah, that's what you feel is the next step to getting that recognition that you deserve. Yeah. So we'll be looking forward to following that on Disc Golf Stream and rooting for you. Hoping for the best. Where should we go from here?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Belgium. It's easy to forget it because we have already talked this, like we have touched on it. But let's walk it through. You came to Belgium, I believe, a few days before, and
first time.
Yeah, it's my first time in Belgium, actually.
And what did you think of the place and the course?
The course was amazing. I didn't really see too many bad holes there. I didn't like the first hole was being an island, but besides from that, the course was amazing. Yeah.
And when you go to Belgium, did you travel with some other players, or did you go alone? Or
I traveled with Miro Ryhänen and Juha Pylkkänen.
Okay. Yeah, Miro played really good there, especially final day.
Yeah, tied the course record there, shot the 12 down, and new face for us. But he was your doubles partner for the Finnish national title that you won, right?
Yeah.
What can you tell us about Miro? He's kind of a new name for us here on Disc Golf Stream.
Yeah, he's the same age as me, and we both train together pretty much, and he's a good putter, I can tell you that.
Okay. He lives in Helsinki as well?
No, he actually lives in Järvenpää.
Järvenpää, okay.
Just outside Helsinki.
Just north, about the 20-30 minute drive north of Helsinki.
Yeah.
And you came in, you got a few practice rounds. How was your feeling after those rounds? Did you feel like the course would suit you, or?
Yeah. The feeling was good, I can't lie. Every practice round I think I played well. And I was feeling the course, the throws were good for me. I was throwing pretty many mid-range shots, and then just being able to hit the lines and stuff like that. So got the good feeling.
And then, who did you play with during that first round? Who else was on your card?
Oh,
do you remember?
At least I had the local Guillaume Tange.
Yeah, Guillaume. Yeah.
But I'm not. I had a good group. I had Søren Handrup. I think he was from Denmark, I think, and then I had Oh, it's gonna be bad if I don't remember the forecast.
It happens.
I remember the face, but can't remember the name.
And
No,
then overall, how did you feel? What was your feeling during that first round, and compared to the other players on the card?
Yeah. Oh, before or after?
Yeah, both.
Yeah, after I had good feeling. I actually played really solid round, but couldn't like execute on the last 4 holes. I think I took like par on those, and was pretty angry at myself that I couldn't take the birdies. I actually missed the short putt and couldn't execute on the shot. So,
But you anyway finished quite strong after day one. What was your final score there?
I was 8 under, and after the round I was on a pretty early group, so I didn't think that I could get to the lead card because I felt that the course is pretty scoreable. But it was enough, and actually was tied second after that round.
That's right, tied with Christian for second and got yourself on the lead card. You had a throw-in from on hole 12. What was that like?
Yeah, that was a downhill putt, Anheuser putt. I hit the line and it went in.
Nice. Yeah, 30 meter almost. About
27
meters.
27, yeah.
Nice one. Also a big putt on hole 3. Some nice circle 2 putts there. But yeah, so you had 2 bogeys, but you were able to finish pretty strong on the back 9, keep it clean, 4 down there and 8 down total. Now you're playing with a new bag this season with Prodigy discs. How familiar were you with Prodigy discs before you started this season? Like, have you thrown them before, or?
I had thrown Prodigy before, but I don't think that I had. Oh, I had the PA3s. I was putting with PA3s the last season, but I didn't have any other discs from Prodigy in my bag last season. So basically, everything's pretty new.
Is that the reason maybe why things didn't go as expected in Copenhagen?
No.
Okay, so you felt like the discs were under control already before that?
I was throwing really good. The first 2 rounds, I think that I was tied 4 from tee to green. And I was like 15 maybe. And I was playing pretty good. I just couldn't putt at all. I was putting so bad that I can't even believe it myself. But
it's hard to believe that after seeing what you did in Belgium.
That's how putting can be, though.
Yeah.
So some days it's really on, some days it's really off. And the wind was really wild there in Copenhagen. I mean, it's kind of hard to make the adjustments.
For me, it wasn't about the wind, I don't think. I was just really off. And I didn't really feel that good in Belgium either. I was able to like get the direction right, so I was able to make the putts, but still like didn't have the release that I want to have.
Wasn't feeling like you were.
Yeah.
The timing was just right. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got yourself to the lead card for round 2. And what was your feeling before? Did you feel like you could improve on your score, or?
Yeah, I felt like I could improve because I knew that the course suits me. So I wasn't really nervous. I was pretty confident in myself, and I had a good card to play with. So it was a fun round.
Yeah, and you played really, really well. We really thought that we would see a bogey-free round, and then hole 18 came, and the first bogey came. And we heard in the interview that even though you were in the lead, you were definitely not satisfied with what just happened there on hole 18. What was your feeling then?
Yeah, I was really, really angry after that putt, or those 2 putts. The first one was pretty tough one. It was like 30 meters. I had the Anheuser line and the headwind, the tailwind, and I didn't really know how much it was going to drop it. And then it rolled to like 5.5 meters, maybe 6 meters, and missed the putt from a like pretty tough lie, but still should have, like, that was an easy putt. And after that, I just went to the tournament center, and I was like really angry, to be honest.
We saw Samuel Hanninen approaching you there. What did he tell you?
I don't. First, he said that you're not Macbeth yet.
That's kind of mean, almost.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So how did you react to that? We just have a laugh about it. Yeah?
No. He knew that I was angry and knew that I was really unhappy with the last hole. So he understood, and gave me some advice. But
Yeah, but you were still in the lead going into round 3, and what was the score there? Round 2, I don't have it.
-11.
-11.
That was with a bogey on the last one. So
Yeah.
I mean,
True, you had a chance for the course record there.
yeah, and it came in very highly rated. I think it was 10-69. 10-69, yeah. So, yeah, really.
And that is the highest rated PDGA round in your career.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. And did you feel that you were on the top of your game when you scored that round?
Yeah, I would say so. But the ratings were pretty high in Belgium, so without the bogey, it was definitely my best PDGA round, I think. But without it, with it, I don't really think so.
You played some really hot rounds before, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ratings are kind of relative. Sometimes it's quite hard to really judge the quality of a round based on the ratings alone, But it's all we have really to gauge gauge at this point. But yeah, so
almost course record. Did you know that you had a chance at the course record on hole 18?
No, I didn't have any idea, and it wouldn't have affected me at all.
You would have still gone for that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, doesn't really change anything. Yeah, so then you had a pretty comfortable lead coming into the final round, but it really extended quite quickly in that final round. That was kind of unusual. What were you going through? Like, what did it feel like to kind of see those other guys start to drop off and realize that you were kind of putting yourself so far away from everybody's reach?
Yeah, I was like, I think I had 2-stroke lead, and with the first hole being the island, I was like, it's so easy to lose two strokes there. But I actually hit the island, and then Otto Mäkinen, who was trailing, missed the island. So after that, I think that I had 4 strokes to everyone. Yeah. So basically, that gave me more pressure even, because then it's like 4 strokes,
and you feel like you have to win. Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I played the first 6 holes pretty well, and then everybody was playing pretty badly. So I think I had like 7 strokes after the 6 holes. So
yeah, it was actually 8 strokes at that point.
Yeah.
After hole 6, you had an 8-stroke lead. We were kind of really surprised because it happened so quickly. We were kind of like, we were thinking it was a pretty tight race, and then it was like 6 holes later, you were just way out in front. And
it was tied with one exception. It was tight with one exception, and that was you. Otherwise, like they were all bunched up.
Everybody was
right
bunched
behind,
together, but you really kind of got off to the races there with that final round, and then you were able to finish strong and take home a really comfortable win. I guess it was by 6 strokes in the end.
Yeah.
And I guess there was a kind of a few at the end that you kind of just played a little more safe. And
I got the speed out on 17, and
that's right. Yeah. And so you had the bogey there.
Yeah. And on 18, I missed the putt. So
right.
I could have. It's easy to say now, but I could have played harder in the end if I needed to.
Right, but nobody was really pushing you there, so it's kind of hard to find that motivation at that point. But tell us what it felt like when you kind of tapped in that that last shot, like what did it feel like to take that win?
I didn't really feel much of anything.
You were just kind of tired from 3 long days.
No, but I've thought about this with my friends, and I'm always saying that the winning almost doesn't like feel winning, or the losing is like it's the thing like that feels bad.
So as long as you're not losing, you feel normal.
Yeah. But when
winning just feels normal.
Basically, yeah.
That's very Paul Macbeth-like, I think.
Yeah, but when I'm like winning, it feels like okay, this is what like I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
So it would be different, I think, if it was a tight race to the end, and I had like a final putt from 10 meters, and I hit that. So
then it would have been more immediate and more like dependent on what happened there, right? So,
but I can totally understand it, because both your big wins now in Tampere and in Belgium has been a little bit in the same way. You have had a big lead and you have been able to control it instead of really fighting for those final birdies to get the win. So I can totally understand what you're saying. Do you start immediately thinking about the next step then, after, like in Finland, you got your first big MPO national title, and then you got the first international title in Belgium? Are you thinking ahead then for the next step already after the win?
Yeah, I think so, but it takes like couple days.
Okay.
Start like I think that we came back on Monday, and it was hard to then think about the Tali event to like get focused on that and stuff like that. But
yeah, because you're gonna play the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour here in Tali this weekend coming now. So
yeah, first stop on the Prodigy Disc Pro Tour. We won't be covering it live on Disc Golf Stream, but yeah, a really exciting event with a lot of history and a really stacked field. Yeah. How are you feeling about that event? It's coming up pretty quick after a win, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of what you're saying. That's like that a little bit short time to prepare, maybe. Or
I'm feeling good. I think that Tali suits me really good. There's lots of like fairway driver shots which I'm feeling confident with, and I would say that I'm like the hottest player on the field right now, and I think that a lot of people are waiting for me to win it or at least play really good. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And playing home in Helsinki also, you get to sleep in your own bed during the night.
Yeah.
Do you think that is gonna affect your performance?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I wouldn't say that Tali is my home course. Even though
not home course, but in your home town. Yeah,
it doesn't even feel like the home event.
Okay.
Even though I'm in my own home and everything like that, but I haven't actually played Tali that much. I never like went there because I live on the other side of Helsinki, so it takes really long to get there.
Yeah,
I have like Keinokalle and Ford and so many courses like closer, so it's almost like visiting Tali.
I understand. And Tali is also usually very crowded, and it can be difficult to even get out there on the course without waiting for an hour first.
Yeah,
but interesting still to hear that you don't see it as your like a home event, even though it kind of is.
Yeah, it's hard to see it as a home event because I'm not playing that course so much.
No.
Yeah.
And other than you said that you should be seen as one of the hottest players. Who else do you see could battle with you for a win in Tali?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think that Samuel Hänninen is definitely one of the players that, if he can figure out his backhand, I think he was quite off in the Belgium, but if he can figure out his backhand, it's his home course, and he can play really hot there. And then Miro Ryhänen, definitely he can play hot there. But
definitely mentioning some hot players. Samuel Hänninen coming second in Copenhagen after a playoff, and Miro getting the hot round and round 3 there and finished 4th, right?
Yeah, I think he finished 4th.
In Belgium. And Samuel Hänninen, I agree with you there. He's probably a very good contender for the win at his home course.
Yeah.
Christian Guoxo there trying to defend his title from last season. So I think he's a force to be reckoned with. He started out pretty hot in Belgium, but faded off, I guess, a little bit end of second round and then into the third round.
It's hard to say about Guoxo because it's still like his second event and he's been in the army, so...
You haven't been training too much. What was your off-season training like? I saw you there at the National Olympic Training Center when you did the Swedish and Finnish cooperation. Do you feel like that off-season work has helped put you in a good spot here in the early spring?
Yeah, I think so. And I trained a lot in the off-season, so it was quite like devastating to play so bad in Copenhagen and stuff like that.
Start to question a little bit if you were on the right track or if it was, or something was wrong, but it's good to bounce back from that with a real big win.
I'm feeling good and everything's feeling like it should be. So.
And what were the things that you focused on during the off season? Was there some specific part of the game or just overall?
Yeah, the early off season I was definitely focusing on the gym and like strength and everything like that. But then in the later off season, I was throwing pretty many forehands and just overall game.
Indoor training.
Yeah.
And do you feel that you got some improvement on those parts of your game?
Yeah, I think so. At least it's noticeable that my forehand has gotten really much like better. And many players have talked about it to me, and it's quite surprising that many players don't think that I have a forehand.
Okay.
For me, yeah.
That they will maybe change opinion now after Belgium. That was quite clear that it's very solid. You're both sides, both backhand and forehand.
Yeah, very well balanced player all around. Let's talk a little bit more about the new bag, the Prodigy discs. Like what are you using? You said you're putting with the PA3, and that was familiar with you to you from last season. What are your throwing putters like?
Right now I only have. Well, I have 2 throwing putters. I have the PA5, but I don't really use that much. Only in the woods and with some like tough shots. It's so understable. My one, so
that's one of my new favorites as well. It's just found some completely new lines with that disc.
I'm bagging it too. Yeah. It's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, and right now I have the RT3, which I'm throwing pretty much. It's like my only like proper throwing putter with like straight shots and stuff like that.
That's the Vine Immaculate signature Glow PA3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very popular among Prodigy players. It seems like a very straight.
Yeah.
And it can handle some speed, and it doesn't really flip. It's just kind of like nice and straight. Okay, so then how about the mid-range game? What's the weapons of choice?
Well, I like the MX1 really much. Yep. It's like I think pretty new mold.
Yep.
Yeah,
and very overstable. I think they're most overstable mid-range.
Yeah, that's really overstable and really dependable and everything like that. So I like that really much. And then I'm basically only throwing M1. It's a pretty old run. I'm only throwing basically those 2 right now.
We had a fun moment here when we were discussing what disc you were throwing, and I said like, it flies like an M4. Yeah. Then we get there, it's an M1, and I realized, that's the difference between me and Teemu Talikainen. Like that flies like the M4 does for me. So, but that's cool. So you have those 2 like as your staple.
Yeah.
So you just trust those stable mid-range discs there, and then how about the fairway game? You said they were feeling really good. Everything's dialed in, I
actually have too many fairways right now in my back. I think I have like 7, but I'm using the FX4 pretty much. And then the new feedback, I threw that like really much in Belgium.
We noticed that. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that disc.
Yeah, it's really like straight for me at least. It's supposed to be a bit overstable. Somewhere in between FX4 and FX2.
Yep.
It's a disc that I can throw in the headwind and still like trust on it. And in Belgium I was throwing it like through straight tunnels with just a bit of a hyzer and flipped up and
like that whole 12. I'm thinking
that was amazing. That final round. Like I think you hit it almost every time, or maybe every time. But that final round, that was just pure straight down the pipe. That was a beautiful line.
And what do you think makes that disc so popular so quickly? Because we see almost all Prodigy players are using that already, and it's such a new disc.
I think it's just so solid.
It's a good disc. Straight answer. Yeah, people like it and they use it, right?
Yeah.
What else is there to say?
No, but do you feel like it filled the hole that Prodigy maybe had there? Because I think you're talking about FX2 and FX4, and FX3 is definitely more towards FX4 than FX2.
So it is.
I can imagine that there was a hole there. I'm not too familiar with the lineup. Yeah,
feedback can be like pretty close to straighter FX2s.
Yeah,
but I think that more people like the shape of it and everything like that. So
feels good.
Yeah.
I hope to get my hands on one of those as soon as possible. I still haven't tried it myself, but.
Yeah, it looks like a nice one. Any other fairways that you're kind of...
Yeah, I'm using FX2, FX4. Then I have one really overstable H1 and F2, which is a bit slower.
Those are more for forehand stuff, or it depends?
It depends, yeah. I'm basically throwing everything on forehand if I just like feel the need.
Okay, so you don't have specific discs that feel good for forehands that you feel like you can flick it all?
I'm actually using... pretty usually I'm using distance drivers with forehand. I'm not using that many fairways.
Okay. All right, let's talk a little bit about the distance drivers then. What's the...
Yeah, well, I have a huge selection of them. I have like pretty many D1s. I have one like really overstable, and then one stable, and then one really understable, which is like, it looks like D4 even.
Got it beat in nicely.
Yeah.
What kind of plastic do you prefer for those?
I
Drivers?
usually like 400.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do have one like 500, which is the Väinämäkelä's new signature D1.
Yeah.
But then right now I'm at least using a D3 in a 500 plastic, which is like my understaple. And then I'm using D2 in 500 plastic as well.
Okay. That's more kind of neutral a little bit. Or?
Yeah. That's like the straight driver, which doesn't flip up that much, but still goes straight.
Yep.
And then maybe the disc that you use the most, or at least maybe had the most success with, the distortion.
Yeah.
Is that the only approach disc you're using?
I do have the A3 and A2 in my bag. But I'm using that pretty much, and especially in Belgium, because I didn't have the standstill backhand at all. I was like struggling with that, so I was using the distortion. I think I wouldn't have used it that much.
No, we said here in the booth, as soon as we saw that disc in your hand, we're like, no worries, that's going to be under the basket. And even sometimes it seems like you missed your line a little bit and it kicked under the basket. So it was some magical powers in that distortion. Yeah. So that's your go-to. Yeah,
I would say so. I actually have one like the green one is pretty understable for a distortion, because I like it more when it's understable. I can like flip it up with forehand and get like different shapes to it.
Nice.
Cool. So there's definitely no holes in the Prodigy lineup right now in your bag, at least.
Yeah.
Cool. And how long did you feel that it took for you to switch over and feel comfortable with all those discs?
Not that much, or not that long. I would say that I was like I don't really even know, because I didn't have a back like before like a month ago.
Okay.
I just threw the discs and had much discs, so many discs to throw, and just was feeling all of them and testing what was like getting into the bag and what wasn't.
Yeah.
So the bag's pretty fresh itself. Really.
Yeah.
You're still learning your discs and playing hot rounds.
Winning by 6 strokes on the European Pro Tour.
For me, it doesn't like ever take that much to learn the discs.
It happens pretty quick, yeah.
I can just go to the field and be there for a couple of hours and then just because there was like some field sessions where I had like 40 fairway drivers, and I was like feeling which one of them would be like good for the back, and just took a pen and wrote on everyone which number it was, if I had like similar ones, and was throwing them and seeing which was going into the back and which wasn't.
And then also you aren't too old and you like haven't played for that many years. I can imagine some like older players, when they're changing sponsors and maybe have some workhorse driver that they have been using for 5-6 years, could be more difficult to like to find a replacement for. But you have been playing for only a few years, so not that old plastic.
Yeah, maybe it's less time to make the change if you're less attached to the discs that you have. We're kind of running out of time. Let's just hear from you what your plans are for the rest of the season. Like what events are you planning to play, or what's the season tour look like for the rest of the year for you? Yeah,
I'm planning on playing the Prodigy Pro Tour. I think I'm playing every one of the competitions. I think so, and then. European,
that's for our listeners and viewers. That's the Finnish national tour.
Yeah, and then European Pro Tour. I think I'm missing 2 of them, but I'm still playing. Like I still have like 3 of those or something. 4 of those.
You're not coming to Estonia.
Yeah, and then
next event. Then
I think I'm missing Turku Open.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
at least I think so now. I think I'm going to the PCS Open in Norway.
Sula, or it's not called Sula anymore, but former Sula.
Yeah,
that's a beautiful looking venue for disc golf. So I'm sure you'll have a great time.
And stacked field as well.
Yeah, it's also Elite Series event, so
that's true.
So you can get some disc golf Pro Tour points there and everything. Okay, so what else?
Yeah, at least some Eurotour stops. I'm not even sure what. Like I know that I'm going to Skellefteå and Aloitekuusi, but not sure of like all of those. Yeah, and then the Finnish Nationals, European Championships, European Open,
Yeah, and you qualified for the European Open with the win in Belgian Open, so your ticket's booked for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pretty exciting summer.
Yeah. Then I'm probably playing the doubles nationals again, trying to defend the title.
With Miro.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then USDGC, just have to get the spot there.
I'm sure you'll qualify.
Yeah.
No worries. All right, sounds good. We're really looking forward to following you at all those events, and we're really happy to have you playing so many European Pro Tour events that we'll get to watch on Disc Golf Stream.
Yeah.
It's going to be a ton of fun. Before we let you go, we're going to go run through our picks from last season. You don't have to, you can kind of just sit tight, but if you feel like you want to mention anything about our picks, feel free to chime in.
Sadly, you weren't picked for this event, so shame for us. We didn't pick the reigning champion, Elias Lukkonen, and we didn't pick you, but we got a few other great picks. Yeah. So
I picked you for Copenhagen, though. I think you were my second second pick. I picked
you should have picked him this time instead. Let's go through my picks first of all. For the MPO, I had Mikael Häme, who had his first event of the year, and reigning European champion did
European Pro Tour points champion. Yeah.
You're right.
It's a little different title, but it's also
Niklas Anttila is the European champion. And
yeah.
Mikael Häme is the European Pro Tour champion. He did exactly what he did last year, mostly on the European Pro Tour, finished in the top 10.
Yeah. So consistent, isn't he? What do you think about his game?
Yeah, I think he's really consistent. I know that he won the Tallis Pro Tour in 2019. After that, I don't know if he's won any bigger events.
Doesn't have a lot of wins, but he's always there, kind of just in the mix. He finishes in the top 10 pretty regularly and on the podium quite often.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's looking for that big win to get back on top of the podium. So we've been kind of talking a little bit about that he's trying to break through with a big win.
But a solid finish still, 10th. That's good.
Great. Good points for you. Good pick.
And then Roland Koor, the young Estonian who finished 31st. So I still think quite good. I was maybe hoping for a little bit more, knowing what he can do.
He showed big potential here last year in Tali. He made himself got himself on the lead card final day. At that point, he was 14 years old.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Do you have something to say about Roland Koor?
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I've spoke to him a few times, and he's solid game. Really good backhand and solid putting. Yeah, so we can expect for him to play some good events. I don't know if he has the level to win anything right now, but I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do this season.
Yeah,
I actually spoke to him and in I think Instagram DMs, and I think he's not playing any events in Finland this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though he was playing so well last year.
Yeah, and he's sponsored by Pro Discus. I think it just didn't work out with his schedule that he wasn't able to make any trips to Finland this year. But I'm sure in the future he'll be back.
I can imagine that he will be around for quite some time, being that young and already so good. But 31st place, I think it's still kind of okay for a 15-year-old.
Fantastic.
And then we have Maxime Tange, who I took, and he looked like a sack of gold there in round 1 until hole 17.
Yeah.
But still played good round 2.
16 maybe. He had a little bit bad luck, skipped OB off what looked like a really good upshot. But then he also went OB on 17, and he missed putts on both 16 and 17. And then it seemed like he never really quite got back to towards the top after that. I think he played pretty well on moving day, but maybe over par on the final day. So
finished
slid a little bit. Yeah,
27th, and I little bit sad that he didn't finish higher. I thought that he would be able to at least get into the top 10.
Well, he proved that he's certainly capable of competing at the highest level. It's just, there's a lot going on when it's your home course and you're running the media game as well. He's a very busy man.
How focused can he be on the course? And it looked like he had fun there on day 1, at least until those hiccups came late round 1. And then we didn't get to see him too much. But
it was a pleasure to watch him for sure. He's got some great skills and
showman there.
And he plays with some emotion. A little bit different style than a lot of the Northern Europeans. You can really tell what he's feeling and sensing a lot. So it was interesting to watch.
Mauri Willman I had as well, the winner from Copenhagen, finished 5th, and he was just there all the time, right behind, and got himself closer and closer and closer. Almost finished at the podium.
He's having a hot year. He's kind of a new name for me. I mean, I know we heard a little bit about him last year, but we hadn't really seen him, I don't think, on coverage. What can you tell us about Mauri Willman? Do you know anything about his game or anything?
To be honest, I'm not familiar with that guy. And
Yeah, he's pretty new on the scene. It feels like.
Yeah, I saw him many times on the course, but besides from that,
Yeah, you don't really know. Yeah, I think he's pretty new.
Yeah.
It seems
Yeah.
like, but he's off to a really great start to the season. He's your teammate there, also sponsored by
Yeah.
Prodigy, one of the great new signings. And I guess for me, it's kind of a surprise that he's off to such a hot start, being that I was just kind of a little bit unfamiliar with him.
And doing
But
it,
I mean, he's proving himself to be a really high quality player, especially with that clutch putting.
Yeah.
and doing it two events in a row also.
Yeah,
on
he
the
backed it
European
up.
Pro Tour.
Top 5, yeah. Great pick.
I'm proud.
How about the FPO side?
No, I had also the
Dominic,
fifth
yeah,
pick,
sorry.
Dominic Stampfer, who the highest rated German player in the field, who
Played really great day one at least, and
Yeah,
then
we got to see a little bit of him on coverage. I think he was
yeah.
on the second feature card.
and then sadly I think day 3 was not that good for him, and he dropped down all the way to 48th place. So it looked like it would have been a really good pick up until then.
Yeah.
and then FPO. Should we take your MPO players first?
Sure, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Christian Kuoksa was your first pick.
Yeah, I'm still happy with the pick. I mean, he made himself on lead card second day, played really well. Overall, dropped a little bit off that final day, but I guess that's to be expected. First event of the year, and like Teemu said, his off season was not the typical off season. He was doing his mandatory military service, and so unable to practice as much.
But quite
yeah,
high ceiling on that guy. What do you think?
as
could
a
happen?
talent.
Yeah.
yeah, he definitely has the arm talent at least. I feel like he's had some struggles with putting in the past, and I saw him make some great putts this weekend. Still saw some misses, but if he can figure that out, he definitely has high ceiling to do whatever he wants to.
I think that's the thing that impressed us most,
Yeah.
especially during round 1. His the pace on his putting, it looked like perfect.
Yeah, it looked like he'd put in some work on the green
Yeah.
in the off season, or
Yeah.
like it was really nice controlled putt. So yeah, if he can keep up the solid putting. But yeah, so he dropped a little bit off the final day. Where did he finish at? 19th. Okay.
Yeah. And then you had Silver Lett as your second pick.
Yep.
For the second event in a row.
Yeah.
You took him again.
Yeah,
But
I have a feeling Silver's going to pop off for a big win sometime soon. I don't know. He's been around for a while and maybe hasn't had a big win for some time, but
Yeah.
I feel like he's kind of due. And if not, he's always seems to be up there in the mix, like top 10 or so in Europe at least.
And you got to play with him there.
In round
Yeah.
2, how was it to play with Silver?
Yeah, I was actually playing with Christian and Silver, both of them.
That's true.
The
Christian
second
also.
round.
That's right.
Yeah, I was really amazed with the forehand of Silver. Like, I knew that he is a forehand player and has an amazing forehand, but he had some amazing shots on the second round.
So that was the first time you played with him?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, wow. Yeah, that was a fun card though. We had a lot of talented players with different skill sets, and
Definitely.
it was a good thing to watch.
And finished at 5th place.
So really, really good pick there for you.
Yeah, I'll try not to do as many repeat picks in the future, but I just.
But if it goes good picks, I don't think you need to say sorry about it.
Ville Aukas was your third pick.
That was good.
Yeah, I had a good feeling about him here. I know he vibed well with the course last year. He was just right there in the mix with Elias. He was actually leading on hole 18 final round last year, and he took a bogey, and Elias took a birdie, so he was able to he got second place last year, and this season same second place, tied for second with Rasmus. We had a little bit of a kind of confusion about what the actual positioning was, because there was a U-disc error inputted in, and so we thought Ville was at 21 under.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Ville himself, but we actually all thought that, me and Rasmus and all of the friends of us thought that Rasmus was going to be third.
Okay, so even you guys were confused.
Yeah.
Okay, so
because the U-disc official had marked him as a par on 6 hole.
On 6, when it was a bogey, and we were actually aware of that, but we didn't realize that.
We thought it would be sorted out during the round.
Yeah, we thought it got fixed, but we didn't really actually kind of register.
I also knew that he took a bogey, but I didn't know that he was marked incorrectly.
Yeah, so it was kind of like just sort of slid under the radar and went till the end of the round. But it did turn out that Ville Aukas and Rasmus Sakaripi did tie for second. They were both minus 20. We were under the impression that he didn't need to birdie the last hole to get solo second, and so we thought he had it in the bag. It's pretty inconsequential. They both were on the podium, and it's kind of a a rare error. I don't think it's happened before, and I don't imagine it'll happen again. I think it was just sort of an accident that kind of somehow slid past everybody's understanding. But we apologize for the confusion to the viewers who are following along live about that.
Yeah, but good pick, Ville Ahokas, and he seemed to have a lot of fun on the course also.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't come out with a hot start maybe at round 3, but he still seemed to be in good mood and really had a solid back 9, if I remember correctly.
He finished really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. I think he was playing pretty solid all around, but nothing too flashy. Just playing okay, and he's a great putter. Made some great putts in the last round, and yeah.
Had that highlight from where we couldn't even see him in the bushes, and then the disc came flying out. Was it hole 3?
Yeah. The deep woods putt. Yeah, but he's always fun to watch. His putts really distinct and unique, and really on point usually, and got a lot of skills. And he seems like he has a lot of positive energy. I guess it's nice to play with him. Yeah.
Then your 4th pick was Ralf Hüpper, the German.
Yep. Yeah, he played well here last year, and I had a feeling like he might kind of surprise some people and do something special. But he really failed to get it going quickly and just kind of stayed in the middle of the pack. Yeah, the field definitely stronger this year. Yeah,
maybe his level wasn't as high as last year, and
so maybe not my best pick, but
44th
can't win them all.
Was still better than my German pick.
Yeah.
And then your 5th MPO player was Hjalte Jensen.
Yeah, I think he's one of the hot players in Europe. Little bit kind of wild at times maybe, but definitely super talented. And when he's working on the mental game. Obviously, I think once he dials that in, he's going to have a big win sometime this season, I'm thinking.
So let's go on to my FPO picks then.
Have you played with Hjalte?
Yeah, I played with Hjalte the last round of Copenhagen, I think. I was really surprised of his putting, because I thought that he was gonna be the type of player to throw really far and then putt like 3 times and stuff like that. But he was actually really solid putter, and especially from circle 2, he had this like step putt, which I think he made 4 of those the last round I was playing with him. So I was really impressed with his putting.
Okay, nice. Yeah, he's obviously got the distance, so good to see that he's...
Yeah, and he's got the perfect body for disc golf, basically. Yeah. Because I think that he's able to throw really far.
Yeah, good genetics and good form.
Yeah.
13th place. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, so I got bonus points for Ville being on the podium, right?
Yeah, that's 10 minus points there for you, which minus in this case is a good thing.
We're aiming for lowest score, just like golf and disc golf scoring.
Let's take your FPO players then, because you got to pick those first.
Okay.
So Heidi Laine was your first pick, and can't be too disappointed with that.
Yeah, I think she was the favorite coming in, and she found herself behind after day 1. Anneli Togias-Manistad has been playing great disc golf this whole year. I have to apologize to her and to Maria Liivamäki for confusing those 2 players. Sorry about that for both of them, and for the viewers for the confusion. But so many good young players, and I somehow had confused their identities. But she got off to a great start. Heidi found herself a little bit behind.
She didn't get stressed about it.
No, she just kept doing her thing and was able to chip away back to a tied game after moving day round 2, and then she was, I think, clearly the better player on final day.
Yeah,
able to get the win.
She was just one level above Anneli there.
Yeah, she struggled on the green with some short putts, but it didn't cost her. So she was throwing so well, and the putts she did hit were really nice, and they were right on point. So good pick there for me.
First win with her new bag also
first win
with a new sponsor, Clash Discs. My first pick was we go through all of your picks. Sorry, Laura Posch was your second pick.
I'm really happy with that pick. She was so consistent and solid all weekend. She just hung right there in 3rd place. She wasn't able to keep up with Heidi or Anneli, but she was clearly the 3rd best player in the field this weekend.
Yeah, she was in that no man's land basically all the time with the few too many strokes to attack the 2 top players, and but she still could play quite relaxed. Doesn't need to worry about someone coming from behind. So she handled that well. 3rd place, another
bonus points for the podium. Yeah,
podium, 10 minus points there, and you got 25 for Heidi. You can maybe start to see where this is going.
Revenge.
And then your third pick, Elina Rydberg, who also really stepped up from what she did in
Copenhagen and performed really solid.
She struggled on day one, and I was a little bit worried, but she bounced back really strong on day two. Almost shot the hot round. She was right there with him, and finished solid on day three as well. So
if she would have played as she did round 2 and 3 on day one as well, she would have been battling for podium.
Yep.
So
so if she
good for Elina Rydberg. Still finished 7th, and it was really tight there, and a lot of players around the same score. But my first pick was Anneli Togias-Mäniste, who impressed me so much there on round 1 and 2, especially. Not just the way that she played, but the way that she handled the situation of being in the lead and how she acted on the course. She looked super professional, and
she's off to a great start to this season. She got second in Copenhagen, second here, and she won last weekend on the Estonian tour.
And she's right now the tour points leader with 150 points after 2 events. So can imagine she's gonna play great again in Estonia.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
Second place, and then I took Jenny Karppinen as my second pick, and it was a lot of ups and downs for her, but she battled through and finished at 6th place.
She had a great final day for sure.
One of your new teammates in Prodigy. What do you have to say about Jenny Karppinen?
I haven't been able to watch Jenny play this year at all, but she's definitely so nice to be with and to talk with after a round and talk about how her round went and how my round went and everything like that. And we actually went to the Prodigy, basically headquarters, to the Turku at the same time in those seasons, so was able to get to know her a bit there.
Yeah, she seems like a super positive player and fun to be around on the course. Nice to hear that you're confirming what we have been suspecting here.
Yeah, she's fun to watch. She's always smiling, even if she's struggling out there on the course. She's got a really positive energy and seems like a really upbeat person with a lot of joy to spread to the people around her.
And a promising start of the season. The podium finish in Copenhagen and 6th place here, but
felt like it could have been even better.
Sure.
And then my last pick was Jenny Larsson, who played better than in Copenhagen, showed some great potential, but didn't reach that high. Finished at 9th place. But I still think that we are going to see some great events from Jenny Larsson this season.
Yeah, a lot of potential there.
That gives me 10 bonus points overall. Minus points there for Anneli Togias-Mäniste with her podium finish. Total points for me, 128. So quite a bit more than I got in Copenhagen. And you got 45 minus bonus points there and finished at 49 points
total.
And you overtook the overall lead also. Right now the score is 212 for me and 157 for you. But the season is long. I feel that probably I'm going to get the first pick in Estonia also. So I think I know who I'm going to pick.
That's a good, it works out good for the timing. You're going to get a pretty likely contender for a podium position there, and 6-time world champion Paul Macbeth. Of course, we're looking forward to that. That's the next event on the European Pro Tour.
But this is a fun game for us. I hope that you are also enjoying it, and we think it's not just fun to pick the players, but also, of course, to talk about them and see what they're doing. And there are so many interesting players that we can't pick them all.
But we've run out of time. We just have to say big thank you for Teemu Talikainen for coming and joining us in the studio here today. It's been really fun talking with you, and really been exciting to watch all your success on the course, and
a solid first podcast for you.
Yeah,
you did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So that's going to do it for this episode 25. Andrew Gum here.
Victor Tågestad here.
And Teemu Talikainen here.
Signing off.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Inside Disc Golf, the European Disc Golf Podcast. Everything about European Disc Golf in one podcast.